This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Low energy, unfocused, foggy? You might be dehydrated. Whether it's hot yoga, over 100-degree weather, or too much sun. Gator Light, with a specialized blend of 5 electrolytes, was scientifically designed to help move fluids into the body faster for rapid rehydration. Shop now at retailers nationwide. Gator Light hydrates faster than water. Is it in you? Symptoms noted are signs of mild to moderate dehydration. Consult a healthcare professional if symptoms persist.
AI is moving fast across the enterprise. But without visibility, it's just chaos. Different tools, different models, different teams using AI in completely different ways. ServiceNow turns that chaos into control. With the AI Control Tower, you see all your AI across the business in one place. What it's doing, what it's done, and what it's about to do. So you stay in control. To put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. And now, your host, Steve Collins.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coach Unplugged. I'm so happy you decided to join us today. Before we jump into the podcast, I'd like to give a big shout out to our 2 sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, the #1 shooting machine on the market. We own 3 of them, and I can tell you personally, even before they became sponsors, their customer service is second to none. Every time I've had any issues with any of my machines, going back to the way old ones, they've always taken really good care of me. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com. Oh, and mention us, and they'll give you $450 off. Mention Coach Collins or Coach Unplugged, they'll give you $450 off. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. We always tell our players that they should be working on their craft. I challenge you to work on your craft. Come over, join a community of like-minded coaches who want to make this game better. It's the reason I started Teach Hoops, is to help pay the bills for all these podcasts, but even more importantly, to give back to this great game that has given me so much, and to set up a roadmap for you to be successful, not only on the court, but off the court. And we offer a 14-day free trial. So come over and kick the tires around, see if you like it. And let's head off the podcast.
All right. Welcome to Coach Unplugged. I'm going to try to get my volume set here today. Holy cow. Early morning, Coach. Coach Randy. All right. So Randy, I'm going to have you introduce yourself, kind of tell the audience your basketball journey, kind of how we ended up at this point talking today. And then
Sure. This is year 30 for me. So,
31
crazy
for me.
veteran, to say the least. And started at coaching everything when I first got in this 30 years ago. I coached middle school basketball, middle school football, high school baseball. I was really my education got paid for through the sport of baseball. I was a left-handed pitcher in the OVC and at UT Martin. And but basketball was always my love. Played 3 sports.
Before that, I think that's an important thing especially for the young coaches. Teaching's teaching, coaching's coaching. I coached like 3 sports when I started. I think you learn a little bit. Eventually, you'll have to narrow it because you're like you and I. We run out of gas. And you can only do so much. But I think at those young ages where you're just going, coach as many things as you can. I mean, you'll learn something in every step, I think.
Oh, I think so. And the crazy thing is, food for thought, even to this day, I will go and sit at a great football coach's practice.
Yes.
I think you can learn from other people and strategies and the way they do it, and not be totally focused on the X's and O's of your particular sport. So, I started in Crockett County. I was there 5 years. I got my first opportunity to coach at the high school level at Dyer County High School, which is in Dyersburg, Tennessee. It's about an hour north of Memphis.
Okay.
And I was there for 2 seasons, and I got an opportunity to go to Dyersburg City School, which at that time, and still is, it's a special school district. There's funding in the system, and there's also great support. So, as much as I loved where I was at Dyer County, I had to make a family decision, and those get tough at times. In fact, I was leaving a team that won 24 games. We're all sophomores. We had built that program from nothing. And, in fact, the year I left, they were number 1 team in the state. They went 36-0 and got beat in the sub-state, one step away from the dance. So, but, again, it would have been selfish thoughts for me to stay there. Our body of work had led them, and they were going to be successful no matter who was coaching. So, at point, you got to make family decisions along the way too. So I've got a wonderful wife. I've been married for 26 years. I got 2 kids, 3 grandkids. Yes, man, I'm like aged out. So,
but going back to the thing is, I'm getting near the end. I don't know how many years I have left, but it's like the thing about coaches is you're always going, oh man, there's that 7th grade group coming up, or you're always looking. It's like, oh my God. It's like my wife looks at me and she just shakes her head. It's like, oh, there's that group. There's that one group. It's like, but we're always. I know. Yeah. You just got to make. You're so reluctant to leave because part of the reason we do this is we love kids and we love coaching, and it's not we're not on TV making millions of dollars. There's no alternative motive here, to be honest with you.
Well, it is. And, and Steve, you can relate to this too. You do it as long as we have. I'm going into year 30, and they just keep you young. You keep that young, that fire. And, I stayed at Dyersburg 19 years. Okay. So I was there, and it was just like you were just alluding to. You knew what your 6th grade was, what your 7th grade was, what your 8th grade was. You knew that about every 3rd year in the cycle, you're going to have a chance to make a big time run, toward a state tournament appearance and possibly a state title. So, I was able to do those things there. I was able to influence a lot of kids. We had our SID, our sports information director, call me because we put up a new website at our new school, Lakeway Christian Academy, just outside of Knoxville. And they were like, man, I need your bio. And I'm like, so not into that.
I know.
And I said, man, I don't care about talking about me and what I've done.
Right.
That's really not it. But I will say this. There's one thing that is very important to me. And, the wins, the losses, the championships, all that stuff, man, all that stuff is great. And, one day I guess I'll sit around and remember it and laugh and talk. But, I've had 64 kids that have signed collegiately. And that's such a blessing to me. Right. That's why we do this thing.
Yeah. And it's people always ask me too. And it's like, I tell them, I said, I don't really even think about that. I said, someday I'll be on a boat fishing and I'll be casting. I'll go, oh, I had a pretty good career. It was pretty good. Yeah, I did all right. But you're in the heat of the battle at this point. I think going back to one other thing you said, and it's the same with teaching. There's a life force with youngsters that people that aren't around it don't understand. It's almost like the movie Cocoon, if you remember the movie Cocoon. Where I get energy from them. When I walk into the gym or I walk into my classroom and I'm dragging, it's like, whoa. It's like, because they're 16 to 18-year-olds and they've got and I coach guys, and guys are like, the hormonal thing is just crazy. It's like, but so that's where you are right now. How long have you been at the place you've been at now?
Well, I actually, this is my 2nd year. I'll be entering my 2nd season. This is actually just completed my 1st full year. I got the job in May, so I really didn't even have a team. The school is new. So we literally didn't even have a team this past year for me to even go through a summer program with.
Really?
We got going in August and started individual workouts and doing that type of thing. And, this was really our first summer together. So, the thing kind of came full circle for them. I mean, we're literally teaching from ground up. Like it's total culture rebuild. I've been very fortunate in my career to do this. This will be the 3rd time. We built a program at Dyer County. And, I built a program at Dyersburg, but I knew, those were established schools.
Right.
So it was more, let's get in, let's get the work going, let's get the culture started, but never from scratch where there were no players. Like, you literally don't have a team. So
that's got to be kind of fun, though. That's got to be kind of fun because you're building room.
It was crazy. I can't tell you how many of my friends said, "You have lost your mind, Randy. What are you doing, dude?" I mean, we left. I was at Riverdale for the 3 previous years, and during that time, it's the first job that I'd taken that it wasn't build the program.
Right.
The program was there. Riverdale had great success. They had 4 state titles before I got there in the last 9 years.
Right.
But we had great talent, and so the program itself.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Propel Fitness Water. With Gatorade electrolytes, zero sugar, and vitamins, Propel hydrates better than water to help you get the most out of your workout and get back to your best self. What propels you? Propel with Gatorade electrolytes.
I mean, without using that word, I guess I used that word, kind of recruited itself to some degree because
kids.
I mean, it was
want
a
to be around
high
other
level
winners. Yeah.
It's a nationally ranked program. They've been nationally ranked for 7 or 8 years. And that job had come to me 2 different times, and I denied it because my kids were in school. Right. And it wasn't like I wasn't at Dyersburg. We were winning there and had great success, but I didn't want to move my kids in high school. And it was crazy. The thing came back around to me again, and I go and I interview for the job, and I'm like, it was such now. My son was a senior and a 3-sport guy, and I told him, I said, look, you can stay with family here or you can go. And he came down and visited with us, and we left and went to Riverdale High School his senior year. And I stayed there 3 years. We were, again, uber talented, whole different set of issues there in regards to getting kids on the same page, that kind of stuff. People said, man, you got to coach great talent. That had to be fun. Boy, it must have been easy to win those state titles there. And we won 3 in a row there. We won 2 national championships in a row. Right. But there's a lot to be said about 9 Division I kids on a high school team. I mean, you got to get some buy-in. You got to get some share. You got to get some unselfish. Right. And then so there's a lot. Every job kind of has its own nuances and its own thing. But I was very proud of how our kids bought into what we were selling. And then taking that and making it as successful as we could make it.
Well, and I think you hit a big point about that. The grass isn't always greener, and everybody has their issues. I tell people that when I had all my when I had that stretch where we were just all the D1 guys, it's hard to get everybody on the bus. I think it was Nick Saban who said his spring practice is to get the right guys on the bus and get them in the right seats and the wrong guys off the bus. I think that was Nick Saban who said that, but it's true. It's like, you got to get them on the bus, and then you got to get them in the right seat. And the guys that shouldn't be on the bus, you got to get off the bus. And that's not an easy task at all by any stretch.
So much truth in that. Much truth in that. But it was a great experience. It was hard to leave that because we literally were returning 6 Division I kids. Right. And, this Lakeway Christian Academy thing came to me, and I had no desire to leave. I'll be honest. We're going to go state title number 4. We're going to go 4 in a row. Right. And, it was almost a godly thing. It wasn't almost a godly. It was a godly thing for me. Right. And I went down here to not burn a bridge because, as I just told you, I just finished year 30. So the private sector and being able to double dip with state retirement, that was always in the back of my mind as something I wanted to do later on because I'm not done with this. I'm ready to go. Right. And So we go down to the job interview. I'm walking in. I'm expecting this thing to be a bunch of rich money mongrels. We're going to buy Riverdale's coach away. And
Right.
I sit down, and it was the most humble people in this boardroom, and they proceeded to tell me the most godly story of the origin of this school. And listen, I even took my wife with me. I'm like, no, I'm going to take my wife because there is no way that she's going to get talked into this. This is not going to happen. Our grandbabies are back within 30 minutes of where we were living before.
Right.
I turned around an hour into the interview, and my wife's crying. And I'm going, this is about to get serious. This is about,
And then
it was, but it's absolutely been a godsend. The competitive side of you. Hey, let's see if you can do this from nothing. You've done it from something twice.
Right.
And then you've got to coach kids at the highest level in your career. And here you are with a chance to move to the Smoky Mountains and live in a beautiful area and have a chance to create your own culture. And that was such a lure to me, to the point where I denied. And then, it was crazy. We were sitting out on our back deck grilling out one night. My wife said, what are you going to do about that Lakeway thing? And because we'd literally not been talking about it. We just denied it.
Right.
And it was just still there. It was God working on our heart that we needed to be there to help this journey along for them, this Christian education in an area that does not have such available.
Right.
Already. So it's exciting times up here.
Well, it's also a growth for you. Just think about, change is inevitable. I tell my boys, it's like, there's very few things, taxes, death, and change. Things are going to change. So you have one of two ways of dealing with it, and change is good. I think it helps us grow. As a coach, you're going to have to do things you haven't done in 10 years, probably, or 20 years, or new things. It's going to be interesting. So, Coach, how would you explain your coaching philosophy for anybody that's listening?
Gosh, I'll say this to any young coach that's out there: take the pieces that you've got and nurture those pieces, and then decide.
Right.
I've been very flexible in my coaching career. Some of my early influences, Tommy Patterson at the early coaching, he was the best thing that could ever happen to me. God put him there for me,
right?
Because he was really kind-hearted, and he showed the girls that he loved them. Like they got it, and they would literally run through a wall for him.
Right.
And he was big on fundamentals, not big on X's and O's. That wasn't his thing. He was going to play basketball, and he was going to do it with kids that would run through a wall for him. And, they were going to do just fundamentally, they were going to be really sound. So he was a great influence. And then, my first high school job, I got to work with a guy named Butch Hopkins, who's, who knows how many games Butch has won, 700-800 probably.
Right.
In fact, he's retired now. And Butch was big on player development. And I thought, in year 5 of my coaching career, Butch comes into my life and shows me the importance of being able to develop the pieces. Get the pieces right. This ain't always about you and what you know.
Right.
It's about what can you teach and what can you teach them. And I was really influenced by that, at an early age. So, when you say philosophies right now, my thing is it comes from a guy named Rick Ensel. And Rick has been very influential in many, many college or high school and college coaches. He's in 9 Hall of Fames, head coach at MTSU women right now. And Rick said this to me. He's won, 11, 12 state championships in the girls high school game. And then he's won conference championship after conference championship in CUSA with MTSU women. In fact, they should be one of the best teams in the country this year. They're going to be a top 20 program. But his thing was this: you better be able to, at the end of the day, we can all come up with all this fancy stuff. We're going to press you this way. We're going to put this trick. At the end of the day, you better get stops in the half court, and you better be able to score it in the half court. And that always stuck with me.
Right.
And whether that meant, Steve, if that meant I need to develop my players such that you might be able to stop my double screen action, but can you stop my kid in space?
Right.
If
I've always said high school basketball is about matchups. It's about matchups. It's about, you know, how can you defend? Yeah, I mean, it's a simple game. You got to score more than the other team, which means you have to stop them, and you got to put that little round thing in that little round cylinder. It's pretty simple game when you think about it. Kind of diving in. I agree with this, and I talk about this in my classes. I'm a math teacher, but I talk about life lessons a lot. And I said, I've been successful because I found the right Yodas through my life, and the right Yodas are the right mentors. You know, and then as you get older, you put mentors in different categories. Like my brother would be in my financial category. He thinks he's supposed to be in the basketball category, but he's really over in the financial category. And, you know, you put people in different categories. As you get older, you get more pieces, more mentors, more Yodas that can kind of help you, I think. But I mean, I'm the coach I am because of people that have helped me along the way. I've taken a little piece of each of them, and that's hopefully they've helped me along my journey. But it sounds like it happened that way for you too. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I think a lot of mistakes that I see with young coaches is a lot of the young guys want to stamp their name on I. Listen, I'm not about that. I want people around me smarter than me.
Right.
I want some people around me that can teach me daily. I was very fortunate when I got the job here. I hired as my number one assistant is a guy named he's out of Granger County, and he had a huge success there. His name's Justin Combs, and he's won, I don't know, 400 or 500 games. When I was in AA in Dyersburg, you know, we had to get through him to get to state. He had to get through us to get to state, you know, to win a state title. Just a great coach. And, you know, he was kind of in the same boat as me with this Lakeway thing, and he's from the area up here. And I was very fortunate to hire him as an assistant. Really good on the defensive side of the ball with presses, and very good with high-low stuff and developing post kids.
Right.
Well, you know, my last 9 years, I haven't had a post. The last post I had signed at Ole Miss in 2011.
Right.
So my last 8 years, I had to readjust, and that's kind of where we came up with what we're doing now.
Right.
And that's, we are playing uber fast. And, you know, it's a great style. It's really fun. But, you know, in regards to the circle's got to be small, and the people in that circle, man, got to be on the same page. And, you know, I'm very fortunate where I'm at right now that we have that.
It's from like Meet the Parents. That circle of trust is very small. Yes. It's and I think your mentors, for the young coaches listening, I think your mentors, don't find yes men or yes women. Find people that are going to, like, I want my coaches questioning me. You know, I want to be pushed to the envelope, because it makes me, otherwise I'm going to get in a rut. I want to think about what we're doing and why we're doing it. So let's dive into your style. Tell me about your style.
Well, as I said earlier, Steve, I had bigs when I first started at Dyersburg. We always had big kids. I'd have multiple 6-footers. I was 6'4", 6'3". I was 6'5", 6'3". At one time. So we played to that. Like, we did crazy stuff. We literally would guard everybody, no helpers. I was 6'5" back there that would wipe it out. So, you know, you kind of played to that a little bit.
Clean up your mess. You know, the bigs clean up your mess. Exactly. Is what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then one year we funneled everything. Like this past year, we funneled everything to our 6'4". I've got a big again.
Right.
But prior to this past season, I had 5'6" to 5'8", a bunch of them. So, you know, we're like, we got to find a niche. What can our niche be? And man, we just kind of sold out to, we are going to play fast. You know, you know the Paul Westhead theory. Let's shoot it in 7 seconds. The Grinnell says we're going to press you on a make or a miss.
Yep.
I'm not necessarily that wild. But because I can't stand to watch a layup. So, but we do play fast with the ball, and we try to control tempo with the ball. And we're trying to literally shoot the ball in 5 seconds. And so we're very systematic in what we do. We're very systematic in how we teach it. And, we start with just core fundamentals. Our goal is to play 75 possessions.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Make sure you subscribe and like no matter where you listen. Apple, Spotify, we love those 5-star reviews. Make sure you also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better.
NFL football season is here, which means when you switch to Verizon, it feels like touchdown, because you get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube on us when you buy an eligible 5G phone on select unlimited plans, which means you can watch every out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon, and it's all on us. Now that's the Verizon way to kick off the NFL football season right. Switch and get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube on us, only with Verizon.
Avatar: Fire and Ash is now streaming on Disney+. It's the film critics are calling the best Avatar yet.
Yeah. Go, 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 go!
A true epic and completely jaw-dropping.
This is the only pure thing in this world.
Return to Pandora on Disney+.
It will be an adventure for the whole fam.
And watch the Oscar-winning phenomenon at home.
This is sick!
Avatar: Fire and Ash, now streaming on Disney+. Rated PG-13.